I know, I know. Third video of the day. It must be a dream come true, right? But nonetheless, guys, here we are back with the last video of today, I would say. And it comes down to a skill combo I want to talk about today. So last night we were looking at the patch notes with the balance adjustments to the skills and the hunters. So I was looking at all the changes they made to the skills, which they buffed, and was looking at what I can do or what we can use, which has potential post buff and wasn't just maybe a slight damage increase and didn't do much at all to switch up things or to change the meta in a certain way. So I was looking through the skills as I just mentioned, and the two skills I want to highlight today. Let's start off with the first one, which is multiply. So they changed multiply, and so first of all they increased the damage slightly, but they also reduced the MP consumption from 100 down to 50, which is huge because it is a lot more spammable. And then it also gained a new effect. When the skill hits, when the skill defeats the enemy, there is a 70%. They increase the chances, by the way. There is a 70% chance that this skill cooldown will be reset when it is the purple version. When you have the golden version of multiply, this is now a 100% guaranteed skill reset, which has a cooldown of 0.5 seconds. And then we have when a skill hits elite or higher monsters, bosses, there's a 35% chance that this skill cooldown will be reset. Golden legendary version has a 50% chance, okay, which is also very, very strong. But you know what it also has? Another effect. When the user uses this skill, it increases the damage of mutilate by 20% for 10 seconds. 10 seconds, and it can also stack for 3 times. So if you enter the legendary version, has a 30% damage increase. So if you stack this up 3 times, you now have a 60% damage buff for mutilate, and if you have the legendary version, you have now a 90% damage buff, which by the way will not be reset. As long as you keep spamming the skill here, you will upkeep that stack for mutilate. So this is the first thing, and it also has a high multiplier. 800% is actually not bad for a skill, and it's level 15. So I have all purple, and it's level 7 basically, because the next time I need to use extract, but we don't want to use that. But it has a chance to reset, so it's a lot spammable, and it only consumes 50 MP, which is nice. The reason why I also looked into it was because I mutilate strike, that's the second one, is the only legendary skill I have available. Funnily enough, there is a huge synergy with that one. So this is the same thing here, level 15, same situation, but this one now has a 1550% damage multiplier with Jinwoo, 15 second cooldown. And now it has a couple of effects. First is when the skill hits, it inflicts a attack increase and a defense increase, which is 16%. So we have a 16% defense break, which is more important. But then again, it's not as super strong because also we have the Shadow Step in general, and the Shadow Step provides us with a 60% defense break, and the purple version provides 12% defense break. And to top things off, the skill has another effect, which is when the skill hits, it activates and resets the cooldown of death and increases the damage of death by 30% for 5 seconds. Now, what is death? Death is the QTE skill of Jinwoo. So this one right here, I have it to level 7. So this is the crazy part. When you use multiply, you basically increase the damage output for your strike. You use strike, do the damage, and then because you use the strike, you can now use death, the QTE skill, and it also has a cooldown of 15 seconds, I believe. If you use your Reawakening, it's shorter, but nonetheless, if you use every time you use strike, it will reset the cooldown of the death ability. And as you can see, it has here, there's a cooldown to it, 15 seconds. The combination is very, very powerful because you use one skill And if it resets, you can use it more often. Then you use strike, can land defense break, does a huge ton of damage. And then it automatically buffs up your QTE skill to deal also extra damage. So you have now 3 skills into one instead of just 2 skills. And you will see now in the next footage how much skill spamming you have with these 2 skills in combination. Now, how does this combo of multiply and strike look in practice? So we can just, for example, for testing purposes, we're not going to use the shadow step, but only work with multiply and the strike. So we start off using that skill. We can use now 2 times because it reset it. Use the strike, get the damage, get the death. Multiply is ready again. We attack. Just use our standard attacks really here. And now at the bottom, you can see there's the free because it's still up. And then now we still have the buff. We can spam, we can spam, we can spam. We didn't even have the chance to use strike again. Now I have to say the 35% chance is OP, but this time we're going to use the shadow step. Doing the same thing, multiply. This time we did not get the reset, but it's fine. And we just wait for them to reset again, right? So we wait, shadow step, multiply 2 times. Oh, okay, now he just interrupted us. We have to wait. Let's wait for a moment here. Let's not lose the buff, but we lost it again. But now we can use it 2 times again. Now use the strike. And then we could have just used death as a QTE, and you see the damage, it's insane because they're ramping up each other. Now this time, let's see the full damage potential if we stack up everything. Shadow step, let's buff up. Maybe we are getting a reset, boom, and then with the QTE, this time he did not, he obviously got the invincibility frames. We used the skill again, but you know how it is with a bear is annoying. But you see the damage? 3 million? And then you have reawakening as well. Guys, I'm telling you, this combination, if there is no break bar and you don't necessarily need an element, this is such a beautiful combination. That's such a beautiful all-rounder. I think this combination is especially powerful in the battlefield of Trials where we do not have any elements, or for example in Power of Destruction when there's a neutral element. This skill combination is, in my opinion, very busted. And maybe you guys also, when you do a couple of fights, you'll be like, what kind of skills do I want to use? I don't know. Do I want to use that? It really doesn't matter. I use that because I get a 30% crit damage. But this time we actually have a skill combination which synergizes so well together that we can bring them in a fight because they buff up each other. The first one does a lot of damage, keeps resetting itself, buffs up the damage of the strike. The strike does a debuff, lands a defense break, lands an attack break, does a shitload of damage, buffs up the QTE skill of Jinwoo, and this allows us to use the QTE skill as well to ramp up the damage. And just basically gives us another option as a skill for Jinwoo because we can only use 2. This way we can use 3 every single time. And yeah, that's about it for today's videos, guys. Thanks guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and a comment down below. I really appreciate it. And see you with the next one. Deuces.